Everyone, it's Brenda Miller. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, and I go live every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time to share with you some of the things that are going on in my craft room, projects that I'm working on, specials coming up, all that kind of good stuff. And today I'm here with a sneak peek. Hopefully you know by now that next Tuesday, May 6th, we are launching our new annual catalog, as well as a whole new set of online exclusive items. So there's going to be tons and tons of new things to play with and to look at and to shop for. And so I'm sharing with you today a sneak peek of an online exclusive that I was able to purchase as part of a demonstrator pre-order. And the idea is that we get to play with it and show it to you and get you excited about it too. So let's go ahead over to my desktop and check it out. So there we go. That's better. So we are going, the sneak peek that I have for you is made with this new bundle called Scenic Adventure. And it has these great sayings, my favorite of which, and we're going to use it today, just breathe and take it slow. I know a lot of people who I can send cards that say that too. It also has some trees and look at those pretty little flowers. And it's just it's a nice stamp set, but check out the dies. These are the coordinating dies for the set, and you can see we've got some mountains, we've got some what I'm going to call greenery, we've got some stars and moon, we've got some trees, a hill, some maybe like a forest we've got. This could be water, and we've got flowers, and then we have my favorite little piece, and I meant to die cut this out for you so you could see, but check this out. It's a little campfire. Look, you've got the little X of the logs, and then you've got this little flame that you cut out in a different color and you put on top, and you've got a little campfire. So I didn't use it today on this card. It didn't really fit, but I did. I had meant to cut that out, but I forgot. So anyway, this is a great little bundle. I think it makes it for great manly cards, and also for people who are really into nature. I've got friends who do yoga, and this is just up their alley, just that whole sentiment and that whole feel. So let's go ahead and make the card. So let's see. I'm going to start, actually, the other thing I wanted to share with you is a current online exclusive, and this is the designer series paper called Everyday Skies. And I have to admit, when I first got it, I was like, oh, these are so pretty. And I said, well, what am I going to do with these? I really could not see a use for them. So you can see there are all these different designs, 12 different designs, which also makes it hard for me to use in classes in general. But look at these gorgeous skies. So maybe you can imagine what I'm going to do with these. And I'll also note that this card is one that I'm going to be doing in my Stampin' Up! Classes next week. So if you like it, you might want to, if you're local, you can come and hang out with us and make a couple of these cards along with a bunch of others. But you see that we have these glorious skies. And let's just take a quick peek at the back of these papers. So as I mentioned, they are currently available as an online exclusive called Everyday Skies. It's part of the Everyday Skies bundle, but the dies that go with that, Everyday Arches is the bundle that goes with that set, and that is currently not available, that part, but the paper is definitely available. So we're going to take that paper and we're going to cut it down to size, and I chose to use this one on this card, and I'll show you a sample with a different one, but you can see how this is like a nighttime sky, right? And so very pretty. And so I grabbed some coordinating cardstock. So I'm starting with a piece of garden green. And I'm just going to give it a quick fold and get my scoring bone out, a nice crease. And I decided that I could put it right on there, but instead I'm going to use a piece of Balmy Blue. And you can see that I've die cut out the center of the Balmy Blue. I'm going to use that die as for a sentiment. And that was die cut with this is the Stylish Shapes dies. And anyway, so that's there, but it's okay that it's cut out of the center and you get to save paper because we're going to be covering this up almost entirely, but just having that little bit of light blue on the edges just makes the whole thing pop a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to just use my Stampin' Seal, get that on there. And I'm going to, you can see that I only made it a teeny tiny bit bigger. Okay, so now you can see that that pops a little, and then I'm going to put it onto the card front. So let's get this on there so that we can move on. All right, so give this little border. All the dimensions for this card you can find in the description of this video. All right, and let me, where's my little chat? Here we go. All right, so that's the background for this card. Okay, so very pretty, but imagine you could use any of these designs in the background and they all give just a slightly different look. But now I'm going to take some of those dies, actually only two, and I'm going to use the mountain. You can see that. And then I'm going to use these two trees. Okay. This little tree, I did initially cut it out, but then I decided that it was a little small for what I was trying to accomplish. Okay, so when I die cut, I decided to die cut this out of some Misty Moonlight. And that might seem like an odd choice, but I saw it on a card and I thought, boy, that really did work, especially with the backgrounds and everything I've got going on. So it's especially because it's supposed to be kind of at night or at dusk, whatever. So the mountains do kind of look dark when you do it. So I just want to show you. I took a piece of about 4 by 2 inch paper and I laid the die down, and you can see, and this confused me at first, but this edge, I don't know why it's cut jaggedly, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't actually cut. It's holding on to what the impressions will be. Now these are all making cuts, not just embossing. Okay, sometimes it embosses, but these are actually cutting into the paper. You can kind of see how that is. But just know that it does not cut the bottom edge. And so that is going to go on the front of our card. And wait till you see what I don't know, I thought it was pretty amazing the way that it looked. But we're going to put it right at the bottom. And it's cut to the same size as the paper. But look at that. So now you're looking at sky in the background, and you've got the mountains in the front. And I said, okay, well, let's get some trees. So here we go. We got some of our trees. This is one of the simplest cards ever. Once you figure out what it is that you want to do. I'm just going to use a little bit of the wet adhesive, like I sometimes do. Could use the Stampin' Seal, that would work, but I decided I wanted just to use just some little dots of adhesive. And I'm going to put that down on the left side of the card. And I did exactly what I said I wasn't going to do, which was glue this down. I meant to not put it onto the card front, and you'll see why. So when you come for class, you want to make sure that you do not glue it down. See, this is a good thing I did it, right? Because now you'll know. Do not glue it down to the card front. Okay, and the reason for that is that since there are 2 trees over here, I really only want one. So what I'm going to do is just glue down the one tree that I like. And of course, there are other ways that you could fix this, but this is to do it properly. I would recommend doing it like this. So I'm going to put the tree, actually I want to put it a little lower. And all I'm going to do is cut off that which is hanging off. And I'm making a mess of my desktop here. See? Just going to use this paper snips and cut it off as if it's part of like the designer series paper, and it just ends there. Okay, so now you've got your trees. Let me go back and trim off this little guy. You can be as thorough and creative as you like. Okay, so now we've got our tree, trees on both sides. We could have also just left 2 trees on each side, just to add balance in my book. So, or we could put the 2 trees and then add a little tree, but then you don't see the mountain. Anyway, so that's what it looks like. So you've got this gorgeous background, and you've got some nice scenery in the forefront, and then we're going to take the stamp, like I said, so that says just breathe and take it slow. You can see it's the photopolymer. I'm going to use my Misty Moonlight, and I'm taking that banner that I cut out before. I'm using a giant block because all my blocks are in use elsewhere. I need to fix that. And I'm going to just line it up, and it fits right. I'm actually going to go towards the left side. All right, so just breathe and take it slow. And this time, I could have done this and cut it off with the tree, but I'm just going to snip it. And I'm going to put it up here because we don't want to take away too much, but I want to slide it under so the tree gets on there too. So just use my regular adhesive. Now, just imagine, instead of using this, if you had a sentiment that said Happy Father's Day, I know that that's something coming up, or just even Happy Birthday. I think it would make a great manly card, but this is always nice. Just breathe and take it slow. And because every card needs to have a little bling on it somehow, I decided to use these new little circles. They're heavy. They're brass circles, and they're called pressed flower motifs. So again, they are new, and you'll see them in the new catalog. Actually, yeah, I think these are in the new catalog. And I'm just going to, like I said, they're kind of heavy, and I'm going to place 3 on. They're like little flowers. And this is part of a different suite at the gallery, Floral Gallery, something like that. And that's not really quite a triangle, is it? All right, put it down there. But you could use a different embellishment if you like, but that is the card for today. But I just want to show you, I used a different piece of designer series paper, and look at the background on that. So when you come to class next week, you can choose your background. I have a package of the paper. They'll all be cut to the right size, and you'll be able to decide which background that you like. And I think they will all look just a little bit different. Isn't that fun? I just thought, wow, what a great way to use this paper and to have some cards that are perhaps a little more manly. So that is all that I had for today. And so thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Let me mention one thing. On Friday and Saturday of this week, in honor of National Scrapbooking Day, Stampin' Up! Is offering double rewards points. So we just recently moved to a new rewards points program that you get 10% of whatever you purchase over $20. And you get that back in points. And those points can be used dollar for dollar on future orders. So let's say you place an order for $100, you get 10 points, and those 10 points can be used as $10 off your another order. And you can save them up, or you can use them right away on your next order. But the idea is that for Friday and Saturday, you get double rewards points. So if you spend $100, you get 20. So it's like getting 20% off, but you just have to use it the next time around. So hopefully this will be a program that you like taking advantage of. And definitely, if you shop this weekend, Friday and Saturday, those extra points will definitely come in handy. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And I look forward to seeing you next week when we launch the new 2025-2026 annual catalog and new online exclusives. So thanks for joining, and we'll see you then.